What's going on, Sagittarius? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having what do I want you to be having? A grand week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just the greatest, Sag, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy how yourself is brought to you. We're in for an amazing journey. And I also have amazing news, Sagittarius, because I am now open for personal readings. So I have, this just like the energies have lined up, everything started it was just really just making sense there, Sagittarius. So it's time. But I've included links down in the description box with all the calendar links or all the services that I have, and they provide calendar links for you to schedule a reading with me, whether this be tarot card readings or if you want to get to know yourself energetically there, Sagittarius. Maybe you got a lot of fun, maybe you got a lot of heat in your chart there, maybe you got a little Scorpio somewhere, maybe you got just whatever that's like, maybe you got a Cancer moon, but yeah, just it's if you want to know yourself like that, or if you want to know as far as like your unique transit, what planets are transiting through what house or what aspects that they're forming with your natal planets there, Sagittarius. I got you. So definitely check that out there, Sagittarius. And if you have any questions as far as like maybe there's some scheduling conflicts, I could do some pre-recorded videos for you there. Or if we need to do something, I usually have the weekends blocked out, but if we need to maybe schedule something real quick, I can be flexible there, Sagittarius. So definitely check all that stuff out. All that information's down there. And as far as like if you have any questions or things, there's an email down there for you to reach out to me, Sagittarius. And with that being said, know that I will never reach out to you being like, hey, Sag, you want to get a reading there? That'll never happen. Unless we've established some sort of, even if, when we've established some sort of, you reach out to me. I would never reach out to you, the Sagittarius, because, scammers can be about there, doing all types of shenanigans. So definitely keep that in mind. But Sagittarius, with this weekly download, whenever you happen to come across this video, or this video comes across you, there may be some messages in here for you. And just so you all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said there, Sag, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Sag. Now I'm going to pull a few oracle cards from this deck here, and then we will get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, Sag, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And in case if y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below are some links for some other readers that I like working with. Well, apparently I'm going to be working with all these people. They're Sagittarius. I keep saying that. So we're just manifesting that. But but some readers that I like watching their Sagittarius, so definitely check them out. They are a very intuitive group, very supportive, and very powerful insights I feel like they bring there, Sagittarius. Thank you guys. Also, there is a link for an astrologer that I like watching as well there. And then there are some links for a couple of podcasts that I've been listening to, and some links for some apps that I like working with as well. There's Sagittarius, consider about to be in collaboration soon. You can have those apps there handy, kind of check your charts there, if you have any questions, all that great stuff, Sag. So definitely avail yourself of all that information. But let's go ahead and get into your first card here, Sagittarius, which I'm with this. Let me see if I can sentence at you. Because you have the reincarnation card here, Sag. And with this reincarnation, because I understand that not everyone may not believe in reincarnation, But I do what I feel with this card is what happens when a new level of awareness occurs. This has me thinking about, like, when you go through, like, maybe your first Saturn square and when you're born. I'm just thinking through all the phases of life. Those can be seen as levels of reincarnation. When you start off as a child and then you get to your first Saturn return at like around 7 years old. That's a big highlight there. And we all go through this energy there, Sagittarius, or when we get to that Saturn opposition, that Saturn return. I feel like it's reflecting on all the ways you have grown there, Sagittarius. And I feel like it's to what are some things that you have brought with you throughout these various levels of growth, and what has really been provided a really strong foundation for you, and what are some things that may have been holding you back that have been maybe this sort of like comfort zone in a sense, but now it's something that you've outgrown. Because I mean, I don't know about you, Sagittarius, but if I had to go back to when I was operating even at like at 20, like early 20s, like where I appreciate the lessons that he taught me. We had a lot of work to do, but that even gets me thinking about as far as like your South Node energy. Because again, even if you don't believe in reincarnation and like that, recurring lives and things, the South Node could even be just like that. And again, that energy that we're just comfortable in. I'll give you an example. My South Node is in the 12th house in Cancer. And I have a very, very vivid imagination, a very rich kind of inner life. And at a lower expression, I did use, like, where it does promote this kind of powerful intuition, I did use that for a period of time as a place to escape. It was my way when things weren't as vivid or didn't quite live up to what my imagination had to offer there. It was my place of escape. And that's something that, I had to work with over the years and realize that, I have to be here. My North Node is in Capricorn in the 6th house, where it's like, I need to it's like taking that intuitive imaginative foundation and incorporating that in sort of a healthy sort of function there, paying attention to my routines, how I go about my day-to-day stuff, taking care of my health, things along those lines, and working on accomplishments, Capricorn energy, and getting out of that safety in a sense that of that Cancer energy, and develop that more sort of emotional maturity there. So that's why I feel like it's just like as you become more aware of your growth there, Sagittarius, it's just not seeing those things that we may have brought with us that may have been kind of hindering us there, like that. I'm almost even getting that like karma in a sense, how our actions have, there's another card in this, how our actions have like consequences. And it's even giving me like a 6 of Cups type of energy here, Sagittarius. But let me get some tarot on this and get some more details with this. There's been a lot of Page of Swords going around here lately. Alright, Sag. Thank you, guys. Let's see what's going on here. Alright, so you have the Ace of Cups, the Page of Swords, the 5 of Pentacles, the 5 of Wands, and then the Hermit card here. Where'd you like to start? And let's start with this 5 of Pentacles here, Sagittarius. Because I feel with this energy here, I feel for some that there is this energy where we may be feeling like we've been kind of going through it here as of late. Maybe there's been some sort of it just feels like that maybe for some I'm getting this almost like kind of lonely energy in a sense. Maybe like some don't understand maybe the conflicts or the difficulties that we may have gone through here in life. And this is a tough energy I feel like to kind of go through here, Sagittarius. I feel like a lot of internal, the 5 of Wands can be this conflicting energy, a lot of internal conflict. And I feel with this Page of Swords here that And I hope you know what I mean by the Sagittarius, but I do feel like for some that there is this sort of victim mentality that's kind of going through here. And it's not to say that the things that you've gone through weren't real or that they didn't do you any sort of like people, didn't do you any sort of harm or felt you feeling like you were maybe like lacking the tools here with the Five of Pentacles. But I feel like the Hermit here is it's like asking us to reflect on how we showed up when those situations, that's not quite what I want to say. It's like reflecting on how those experiences have shaped you to who you are today, or how we can utilize those experiences to I almost feel like to kind of just like how do we grow from this? How do we let this healing process promote this growth? Because listen, Sagittarius, we all go through various degrees of this journey, and it's not to say that, it's not, I feel like it's not necessarily a competition of who's had it worse as far as like what experience that have gone through. Because there are some things that I went through that I necessarily could like, but even when I think about them now, it's in that moment, yeah, they weren't that great. But in the grand scheme of things, I see how I could grow from that, how I could heal from that. And I feel like even sometimes that word healing can be kind of a tricky one, because we can get stuck in the stagnation of healing, but then don't use it to grow. We don't accept accountability for where we may have surrendered our autonomy or our sense of control to a situation, because where we may not be able to control external situations, we can control how they make us feel, or we control how we can like react to them, Sagittarius. And I really do hope you understand what I mean, because I feel that this is one where, and I remember listening to a podcast and I really loved how this person put it, that even when you look at, and they were talking with someone who's gone through a whole lot of trauma, like a lot of like almost like scorpionic type of things, really intense sort of, we're talking about energies of abuse and all of this stuff there. And this person had put it so beautifully. It's just like these things that you've gone through, instead of like, it's like you like how I just said, like would I do all of that experience all over again? Absolutely. Because that situation went perfectly. And hang with me. Because what I mean by that is, the things that have happened to you in these reincarnations up until now, they were exactly what your soul needed to, and soul wanted to learn. These are the things, because we're divine beings going through these human experiences. And we can either let those experiences keep us down, or we can let them lift us up and get us to where we get, because the fives in the tarot are energies of conflict, but they get us brainstorming so that we can reach that higher point, so that we can show up stronger and more, just a more fulfilled being when we get through this journey there, Sagittarius. So I just feel like there's a lot of like with this Hermit here, it's just like really kind of sitting with this energy. Because even thinking with the Hermit, this is Virgo energy, about our day-to-day routines and things like that, and that forms a square with your sign, which is conflicting energy, which can bring energies of tension. But it's in those energies of tension where it's like when you, it's like being in that energy of conflict is where the magic happens, because now you're able to start thinking about, what can I do to get out of this? What can I do to grow? What can I do? Because I can control myself. No one has power over me. So, all right, I think I'm going to leave that there. I really do hope that makes sense there, Sagittarius. Let's get another oracle on this. And I do even feel with that Ace of Cups, it is taking the time to process this, and it's not forcing this growth. But I do feel there is and I feel like it is to understanding that we because I feel like when we get to the state of where I've healed from something, then I feel like that stops the growth. And I feel like, we're never truly, like, it's almost like that Chiron wound is what I'm kind of feeling with this energy. It's like, because it's like, I feel like you take these experiences and keep growing from there because they're never going to stop being challenges. And I feel like that's not something you want to keep you disheartening, but I feel like it's something that gets you to keep you motivated to know that these situations that are happening here are temporary, But and it's like, being comfortable with that energy of like with the discomfort, not running away from it, but giving it the space that it need, again, as it makes sense, to allow yourself to evolve from that. But and then when you meet yourself that deeply there, Sagittarius, then I feel this Ace of Cups too is even extending this compassion and this empathy towards others and their experiences as well there. And you can become this great teacher as well there, which is really makes sense for your sign, considering that you're associated with the ninth house, that energy of expansion, growth, learning, that Jupiter energy, that wise sage. So all right, Sagittarius. So you have the excuse me, the 15th card here, which is Devil energy, which is subordinate the ego. And I feel with this energy here, there, Sagittarius, because I feel that in these conflicts and things that sometimes, because, the ego is sort of like, it's like those immediate controls or thoughts that are most in touch with the external, with the reality, those kind of baseline cravings. And I've been really thinking about the idea of ego, and it's like, it can be seen as such as this bad thing or something that it's like, yes, we're trying to transcend the ego to get to this higher energy, but I do feel like it is understanding the necessity of the ego and what role that it plays. And I feel like this card ties in very nicely, considering again that the 15th card is the devil energy, because it's that conflict that shows up in us, that maybe that's that state of where we may feel a little insecure, where we feel that we don't have this sense of security, or we don't have this state of power, or the thing that rocks our foundation in a sense, because it's pushing us to strive for higher. And I do feel that this is not necessarily like subordinating, as far as like, I don't feel like it's controlling in a sense. It's learning to work with it. It's still a thought that I'm still really kind of formulating with, but I do feel that it's learning to work with these energies and embrace these kind of dark ambassadors, because can become, we can either make them enemies or we can make them allies. And I feel like when we get to the state of trying to control something, it's like, I feel like it just makes us, it exacerbates the energy when we do happen to make a mistake, because we're going to make mistakes along the way. We're foible. We're going through, again, we're these divine beings going through these experiences, and there are going to be times, because see, when you don't notice that you have that perfect control, then this can get to this internal question, like, why can't I control this thing? Why can't I do this? And then I feel like that's where we can get in a loop there, and then almost get to this place where we do kind of give up there, Sagittarius. So some deep stuff that we're talking about here. I hope that you're hanging with me there, but let's get some tarot on this and get some details with this. What's good, girl? right, Sag. Thank you guys. Alrighty, Sag. So you have the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Swords, the Eight of Wands, the Two of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, the Chariot, and the Empress here. And let's talk about my girl. Because with the Empress, I do feel that there is this kind of, again, when we're understanding these, because I feel like this ego, subordinate the ego, is this like this impulse control. We're understanding when we're giving into these kind of baser, these base kind of sort of like things that we go to when we feel like how I was talking about with like that South Node energy, where we go to where we escape, and I feel that she is that energy of remembering that when we're building this relationship, because she's Venus, the Empress, and I feel like, yes, she deals with the one-on-one relationships, but I feel like that can be this relationship with ourselves as well. When we, or did I say Knight of Wands? I definitely meant Knight of Swords. But the is once we, I feel like, develop this stronger relationship with ourselves, that Libra energy, then, because even Libra has this way of, has this tendency to kind of give control over to overcompensate for another, and that could even be this ego that we're talking about, because the ego can have this lower expression. But I do feel that this Ace of Pentacles gives us an opportunity to Taurus, to grow this energy. And I feel with this, because you got a lot of motion here with one of your cards, Mercury in Sagittarius, the Eight of Wands, and the Chariot. And I even feel like even saying that with this Mercury in Sagittarius energy, it's thinking a lot bigger, learning more about yourself, seeing this journey in the grand scheme of things, seeing that bigger picture, that Sagittarius energy that you do bring, and understanding that all of these things, these harsh stuff, they come up, they're all a part of the journey. And I feel that when you're challenged by the ego, we can get into that kind of indecisive energy, and I feel that this is helping you not give into those baser needs so easily, understanding your emotions on a deeper type of level there, understanding how this does translate in the body, how this makes you feel. And I feel the Knight of Swords is that, where it is that tenacious energy. I like the Knight of Swords because he is looking to the future. He is putting in that work. But I do feel that the Knight of Swords, sometimes he has a tendency to just rush past and not want to reflect on the past, because and then there's that confusion, as opposed to like, why do these things keep coming up? Because we haven't understand where we're still kind of giving in to those kind of South Node type of energies, where we just fall back into that comfort zone again. So yeah, I feel that this is a very powerful energy for growth there. Really great one for motion. Again, an opportunity for this expansion and seeing the abundance in all of the experiences that have happened to you, and again turning this ego into an ally. So, and letting them whew, all right, a lot of energy with that one there, Sagittarius. And I feel too, even with this Eight of Wands, it is being in this energy of not feeling like you have to rush this thing either. Healing and growth look differently on everyone, but I feel like as long, even if we're taking baby steps, I kind of, who was I just talking with this about? I think I was talking with Gemini about this, where it's like, when we're starting, let's say may say we hurt our arm or something. We start off kind of light at first. Maybe we're just doing a small motion like this. Just kind of slightly, and it's just like, oh, okay, that was enough work for today. And then we do it again, get a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger range of motion. They're open. Now we're able to rotate and look at this, and now we're, as opposed to just like, oh, this hurts. I'm gonna go back to whatever, escape again. Not wanting to deal with this discomfort. Go to social media. Go to whatever food, whatever this is. So and Venus, I got that's like right when I think I get like another download. The Empress is also a sign. Venus is a very sensual sign as well. She wants things that feel good. She wants things to be beautiful. She wants things to feel secure, and but I feel like in order to understand what feels good for us, we also need to understand it's under having that seeing that Libra side, seeing both sides of these things, because we're not just linear beings there, Sagittarius. We have this, we need to understand what we don't need or what doesn't resonate with us, so we can bring in more of what we do need, these sort of healthier kind of impulses here, these sort of healthier responses to that discomfort, this conflict, whatever that's looking like for you. So all right, whew, I think I got all that out there, Sagittarius. I tell you, this one, I really, when I sidebar, when I got, it's actually with the Sagittarius when I got this deck, and this has really brought about some really kind of profound insights here. So I've been really kind of grateful for it. But it's like, man, this has been some deep stuff to kind of think about there. But I love that type of stuff there, Sag. But let's get your last card here. Absolutely. I love that. Thank you, guys. So you have the responsibility card here, Sagittarius. And I do like this because, because let me tell you. Because here's the thing, whether this is some sort of like, whether this is some childhood healing or whatever this experience is looking like, I feel that we're not. And listen, I am not excusing anyone. For if someone has done something to you that has, however that may be translating there for you. But I do feel we have a responsibility about how that thing controls us going forward, because it's transpired, it's done. So now what do we do from here? Do we let that thing run your life, or do have that sort of subconscious control over you, or do we figure out some ways to process this? And this could take it can take years, Sagittarius. I'll tell you what. I had some stuff where I blame my parents for not even my mother for a lot of stuff, and I let that be the narrative for so long, for throughout my teens, throughout my 20s, and I just escaped and just like, but she didn't tell me to pick up the bottle. She didn't tell me to escape into drugs. She didn't tell me to do any of that stuff. But I used a lot. I passed that all along to her. And I actually just had a conversation with her where, well, not a conversation, but I had sent, because we've been kind of at odds there here recently, but I had gotten a download when I had woke up, not like maybe like a day or two ago. And I was just like, you know what? I didn't know how to go about it, but all I did was kind of speak my truth, and I took accountability for my actions. I understood where you were coming from. Maybe we didn't, because when you think about it, if this is like a parental thing, for example, you know, I had thought like I didn't have the tools, but she probably didn't have the tools either. And this has become like a generational thing. And it's just like, when does that trend stop, Sagittarius? We can think about this stuff in a really kind of deep way. And it's not that you taking the weight of all of theirs, but you are taking responsibility. Like, you know what? Enough's enough. We're going to break this mold. I'm going to do this work. I don't know how this is looking. Maybe I need to go to, maybe do some therapy. Maybe I need to do some, whatever this is looking like. But I do feel that we do need to understand that we do have a responsibility to show up for ourselves, and to we can either see this as something that's just like taken away from us, or we can take that energy back. I'm with it. Let's get some let's get some tarot on this, Sagittarius. All right. Love it. Thank you, guys. All right, so last little bit here, Sagittarius. You have the Two of Wands, the Three of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, and the Ten of Cups here. And let's switch back over. And I hope you know I'm not coming at you there, Sagittarius. But I do feel like this is something to think about, is paying attention to those aspects of, because you are responsible for how you process these reincarnations, how you show up each day. Every day is a reincarnation there, Sagittarius. You're a totally different person than you were yesterday. You know, we can even go like 5 minutes ago. Hold on, candle went out there. But I do feel like that it's like it is knowing that you can make the choice to change things there, Sagittarius. Two of Wands. This is Mars in Aries. And when we gain that sense of authority back, that autonomy back, understand that sense of self. And even when you think about where the nodes, and I'm even thinking about where Chiron's at, this has been forming aspects with your Sagittarius placements. It's been forming trines, which is fast moving energy. So you can potentially move through this energies of where your self has been wounded, where your self-esteem has been challenged, you know, or where we don't feel confident, where we don't feel brave to take on something there. In Eight of Wands, Chariot, move through this stuff like faster than you think. And I feel with the Five of Swords there, this is a card of, this could be a card of other people's, I feel like, perspectives kind of forced on you there. Or it's like we're pushing the responsibility because other people told us so. You know, that like, oh, you can't do this, oh, you can't do that, oh, you can't do this. But then you hear these stories about people who take that as like, okay, well, I'm going to show you that you're wrong, you know? And then make this wish come true. Totally change the picture there, Sag. But I do feel this Seven of Pentacles is really just kind of asking ourselves where, because this is Saturn in Taurus, and it's asking ourselves where we've been feeling restricted, where we've been feeling that where our self-esteem, where we don't feel stable, where we don't feel secure, and get that security back. You know, get your power back. And again, that no one can tell you how to go about this, how you should feel about something or anything along those lines. But I do feel that it is, letting them bring you down. I do feel like this is something where we want to just kind of lift ourselves up there, Sagittarius. So, and even when I was talking about all that family stuff, the Ten of Cups can be this family thing. So, this is, in the being, the Page of Swords they're very youthful energies. So it's just like, but again, we're growing. We're coming into a different energy. And I do remember when I was going through my Saturn return, that there was this really stark moment of just like, how I've been going about things they need to change. It was very like, it just a tower in a sense, and it wasn't anything dramatic. It was just like that epiphany kind of happened. I was just like, oh, I don't feel well, like this isn't great. So it's like, let's adjust that. And it's taken few years since that, but now things are really kind of starting to kind of settle in there. Sometimes it takes for your first Saturn return, sometimes it takes to your Pluto square, your Uranus opposition, Neptune square. But again, these are all, I'm just throwing out these terms because these are things we all go through there, Sagittarius. There are unique things, transits that go on with us, but those we all experience together. So it's like where I understand the uniqueness of what's happened. there is this sense of, in a way, we do get it, you know. And last little thing, I'm just thinking with the Chariot, this Cancer energy, my sun signs in Cancer, and I always tell people that the lovely thing about, I feel like, a Cancer when they're kind of working on themselves, and I feel like this could be for anybody, that when, I may not understand where you're going through, but I get it too. We can all relate to one another to an extent, you know. And I remember actually talking with the same Sag I went shopping with. I was talking about, because they had went through some really tough stuff, and I was saying that, like, I really didn't go through any kind of tough thing, not nearly as tough, but like they looked at me, it was just like, well, that doesn't take from the fact that it was traumatic. Like, it's still like, it's still, it's still something that you need to heal from. And it's like, and that was very like, huh. And I really hadn't thought about it like that. And it was just like, wow. And that was uplifting. So, all right. All right, I think we're good there, Sagittarius. But yeah, this was a lot. So yeah, I really do hope that this was, that translated well, and that this was taken with the knowing that I'm always in your corner there, Sagittarius, no matter what you're going through. But if you like that, Sag, or if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and share this thing, Sagittarius. If you know someone who's been going through this, and I feel too, it's just like, we just kind of be mindful of the approach, because sometimes healing is, and growth can be easier for some than it is for others. I've kind of had a relationship that sort of went south because we both had our parts to play in this, but I had forgotten my compassion for a little bit, because I was just like, I told you, like, we did tarot, we looked at the astrology, we just talked, and it's just like, oh, you're not growing, but what are you doing? Like, come on, like, heat. And I have a lot of Leo, so it's just heat. Then, Jupiter's conjunct my ascendant, so I did kind of have that. There's that bit of bluntness that was kind of going on there. But, you know, this is something I feel like to be mindful of when we're, kind of broaching these subjects. There's sometimes we need to come with a bit of a gentler touch, or maybe a little tactful touch, or maybe some need that heat, but it's just, kind of reading the vibe there. And then subscribe to Empress, hit that bell button to get notified when I release videos each week. And then speaking of, well, before I get into that, just because, Sagittarius, this is a lot to work with. And I'll tell you what, astrology has really helped me understand myself quite a bit. I'm not saying it's the answer for everything. Sometimes you just need to talk this stuff out there. And I love talking about this type of stuff there, especially when we know that growth is coming from this Sagittarius. So, yeah, definitely check out the links for the things that I have down below. We can get into your chart there, maybe understand how you can embody your energies differently. Work with these foundations, and just, it's all down there in the description box there for you there, Sagittarius. And again, if you have any questions, there's a link for an email to reach out to me. And then, yeah, last little bit. Look at you getting the hottest ticket to come over to my other channel, The Chariot. But if you have any Cancer in your places, we can find that out there, Sag. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Come on over to The Chariot and friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss lunar shenanigans, and I do tarot card spreads based off what sign the moon is in, what phase she's in. That's actually a lot of Libra energy the last few days. Has been fascinating, and it's a great old time. And all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, Sag, so I can get you out of here. And you have the Queen of Wands here, Sagittarius. And I'm getting the impulsivity that comes with the Queen of Wands, that reactive energy when we're operating from a place of hurt, or a place of, again, that lack of maybe impulse control, in a sense, just sort of just doing and not understanding the maybe unconscious programmings behind that. And I feel that it's like this Queen of Wands is finding yourself again, and I feel like it's breathing in this, because for me the Queen of Wands is Aries energy, and this is breathing this this new life into this journey. Now we're getting excited about the growth in a sense. Now we've maybe been stuck in this sort of like winter type of energy where it's just been depressing and it's been just beat down, and now we can see that first bud that's kind of like popping through the snow, and it's just like, oh, there is a chance. The growth is happening. We're not stagnant anymore. Now we're getting out of that reflective, and which is kind of appropriate since we're kind of still sort of in like the that sort of like winter solstice energy, but now we are getting towards Aries season, and things are going to start getting reinvigorated, and another reincarnation. So I'm with that there, Sagittarius. Let me get your other card here. Oh yes, I can get you out of here, Sag. See, I told you we could get a talk in there, Sagittarius. I like that, Sag. Thank you, Spirit. Guides. You have the Maple Spirit here, Sagittarius, which is a card of generosity. And I feel that as you're going through and processing this growth, because you will process this there, Sagittarius, you will grow from this. And then I feel like it's taking, I just picture you being this tree, and people kind of coming, those you close to you as it makes sense, and just kind of coming and sitting there, and just sort of like you passing down this wisdom, being generous with your, and as it makes sense. I'm not saying you're just like, just blurting all of your stuff out there, Sagittarius, but I do feel that can be one where it's just like, be generous with your compassion and your empathy, and really feeling where people are kind of coming from there. And it's just like you like kind of, I think we had the Ace of Pentacles somewhere in here. I thought we had the Ace of Pentacles, maybe we didn't, but there it is. Yeah, we did. I was like, I almost positive we did, but yes, I feel like it's this, yeah, just being generous with that empathy, that compassion, that wisdom that you attain from this journey. But all right, I think I'm gonna get you out of here, Sagittarius, but you stay safe out there. Understanding these experiences, how you've grown, where we may have given control of ourselves, and where we have a responsibility to show up for ourselves. Not to you. This is not for anybody else. You're not doing this to prove it to those people who may have done you wrong, who did this. No, you're doing this for you. And be generous with yourself and nurture this energy. Empress, self-care, raise that vibration through the roof. I'm with that, Sag. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.